Hey everyone, this is Luke Henderson with AroundTheOctagon.com, your one and only source for all things MMA on the web. Thanks for joining us for our latest podcast, and today I am thrilled because we are joined by a very special guest, Shawn Seal the Deal Obasi, an MMA fighter that's blazing trails in New York, where MMA is still for some reason unsanctioned, and blazing trails in the sport itself. His own unique emphasis on a lesser discussed branch of martial arts is creating a lot of interest in this fighter and in the sport itself. Thanks for joining us today, Shawn.
How's it going?
It's going great. How are you doing today?
I'm alright.
Well,
Awesome.
let's start with the basics here. What is the mixed martial arts style that you're using?
Well, my base is pretty much it's Wing Chu Kung Fu. It's a style of Kung Fu that originated in China. It was made famous with the late Bruce Lee. And that's pretty much the style that I started. I did crossover. I did some cross training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And those are the two styles that I currently train in, as well as Muay Thai coming in now.
How hard was the crossover between the two? Was it especially difficult, or did they gel pretty well together?
Actually, they blend pretty well together. I mean, it actually amplified. I mean, when you train in one martial art and you train another, it's not like you're just coming up straight as a white belt. You know, I really had the experience, so it really helped. What I did notice when I went back to my Wing Chun after training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, my skills had advanced by far, and it had a lot to do with the grappling. So the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in terms of the grappling, Wing Chun, in terms of the striking, it blends really, really well together.
My first instinct when I see it, when I've seen it in action now, is that it looks like a very fundamental style of martial arts. Seems very, I mean, from the outside observer, it seems like, wow, this is what I think of when I think of martial arts. But it's frowned upon by many promotions. Where does that disapproval come from? Why? Is it just ignorance, or is there something specifically with this style that is different that doesn't make people comfortable?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with his track record. I believe there was a fighter when the UFC originated. He came out as Wing Chun. The guy didn't last a couple of seconds. He didn't get to throw a punch off. There's been Wing Chun guys who claim and say that their art is deadly and all this, all these type of things, but they never show improve. You know, they never get in the ring and actually prove it. And that's where I think that the negativity and the disbelief in Wing Chun being able to work comes from. So basically what I want to do is I just want, just come in there and show that Wing Chun actually can work, And we have a couple of guys doing it, and that's what it's all about, just showing and proving, not just being about talk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Shawn was kind enough to send me some of his fights, and I got to take a look at them. And what I'm seeing with a lot of people say, oh, this type of style has devastating striking. But what I saw with yours, and for those who haven't seen, it's really unique. If you get a chance, find them on YouTube, take a look. It's really some striking that I haven't seen before, where fights can be over just so quickly. And of course, any MMA fight can be over pretty quickly. But with this, I see a lot of hesitancy after that fighter gets hit once with some of the punches that you have going. There's a lot of fear there about what's going to happen next. And I'm just curious because I see that a lot of the promotions are talking about if you're going to use it, you're going to have to sort of change the style and adapt to what they want. And I guess I'm not really clear. What exactly are they expecting from you guys?
Well, here's the thing. The way I fight, it doesn't necessarily, in terms of my style, it doesn't necessarily fit the norm. That necessarily brings a bad stigma, but more importantly, what the MMA community is so used to right now is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, boxing, Muay Thai. That's it. They don't have traditional martial arts fighters in there coming out and representing. They have a few. You have Loyota Machida who's training karate. You have some guys who train traditional martial arts, but very few, who have it as a base. And, the truth of the matter is, mixed martial arts fans, they want to see diversity, I think, And if there could be a guy who comes from capoeira and successful, a guy who comes from Kung Fu successful, or just any kind of style other than the normal, I think it would be great.
No, absolutely. So you hit on a real good point there, and it's something that I've heard from some other fighters who have different bases. When MMA really hit the scene, and of course when we talk about MMA, we talk about UFC, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was really the fundamental thing that a lot of the fans heard of, a lot of the fans saw. And now everywhere you look, you can't throw a stone in a lot of cities without seeing a BJJ Academy. Now,
exactly.
And that's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in that. So when you have these new styles crop up, you're sort of putting some of that money in danger. And I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're going for, But you do have to consider that when there's a new style and when there's so much invested in BJJ, if someone like, if Seal the Deal came out and knocked a bunch of big-time BJJ folks out, or boxing folks or wrestling folks, what's going to happen then? And that's kind of sad, because I think that there's room for diversity, and it gets stale if the promotions don't really embrace this sort of different style, because I think that that's really what the fans want to see. Like you said, they want to see change, they want to see new things. And so it's different, but it's exciting at the same time.
Luke, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier briefly.
Sure.
You mentioned about the difference in my style. And the thing is, when the Wing Chun is specifically designed for when you make contact with your opponent, you're meant to destroy. You're meant to end the fight. I'm not about bouncing around and jumping around, losing contact. Once you create a bridge, which is the most important thing to create for a Wing Chun match, that's it. That's all I'm looking for. Because I know where you are. I know where every part of your body is. I know where it's attacked. And the strikes that I throw, they might not look powerful, but they come from a powerful source, which is the center line. And learn how to generate that power. That's what Wing Chun is all about. And that's what I'm trying to come out there and do. So if I do that, and I'm successful, and Wing Chun becomes the new sort of like, martial arts to learn, as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu did with the Gracies, why not,
Right.
What do you get 2010, I think it's all about diversity and change.
Absolutely. And it's one thing. Shawn said something there, guys, and if you haven't had a chance yet, seriously, go take a look at some of his fights. When you talk about that emphasis that you have, that you're looking at the opponent, that you're looking to destroy, I've really never seen a fighter with this sort of laser focus. There's a couple of fights where I see you, and I don't know a better way to describe it than this, but it almost looks like the initial stance is sort of hands out, almost like you're going to do like a double handshake. And then the look in your face is you just laser in on the guy. It's sort of like a perpetual motion machine. You're going forward, and I haven't really yet seen you back up, which is interesting because it seems also at the same time like a very intense style, but it also seems somewhat dangerous for you. Are you really open in this sort of style, or like if you miss the mark and you're not getting that demolition like you said, is it a little bit more open, and is that any of the fear that they have that you're leaving yourself vulnerable?
Not at all, Luke, because if you do the research on Wing Chun, you find out we're comfortable, we're close range combat fighting style. So when I'm that close to a opponent, that's my comfort zone. When I'm in danger is when I'm far away from my opponent and he has a chance to throw off a full power kick or a full power punch. When I'm close to opponent, meaning we're arms length, and we have that bridge connected, that's when I'm comfortable. So, and I react based on what my opponent does. So people always want to say, where's the Wing Chun? It's the Wing Chun principle. You don't do anything that's unnecessary. You do what's based on what the fight presents, or what the opponent presents with himself. And that's how it is. That's how it's always going to be. So when I go into a fight, just based on what the opponent does, I don't think, I just feel and react.
People who describe your style, or to describe Wing Chun style, the way they do it, and I see this a lot when anytime they want to just kind of dismiss a type of martial arts or a new style, they describe it a lot as just street fighting, and it's just going out there and knocking each other out. But when I watched it, it's really, if you're not paying attention, you don't notice it, but it is so highly technical that, again, it didn't seem like there's a wasted move. It doesn't seem like anything isn't planned. And is that just a testament to your particular trainers, or is it a testament to the style in general?
Well, it's a testament to the style in general, and of course my trainers, Brados, who had trained me from the beginning. And here's the thing, right? The style is based on simplicity. Okay, it's the most economical style there is, because there is not supposed to be any wasted movement. There is no jumping around, high kicks. We don't typically kick above the waist. So I recently had an M1 video when I was supposed to demonstrate straight with my high kicks on the pad, and I slipped. I'm not the first fighter to slip on a kick on the pad, but whatever. The point I'm trying to make is that's not within my usual training regimen for me to do high kicks.
Right.
Wing Chun, that's what Wing Chun is designed for. So for a guy to tell me, what I really got pissed about in that video, what people don't understand, is what the guy said behind closed doors, is he specifically said with his own words that my Wing Chun would never work, and I would never be able to knock anybody out. And more importantly, it's a waste. He's been training. The guy told me he went to Shawn, he went all around the world and trained with many martial arts for a long time, and he thinks that Wing Chun, from his experience, is useless. Those were his exact words. And of course, me, as somebody who's been training Wing Chun, of course I'm going to get offended. I'm only human. That's my natural instinct.
Sure.